Welcome to the Crystal Earth Podcast, brought to you by the Crystal Earth Gallery, your mineral and bead emporium. I'm your host, Nic Scogna, and each week we're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of gemstones. From their physical properties to their metaphysical powers, we're going to explore what makes each stone unique. Plus, we'll occasionally be joined by special guests who share their expert insights, their offerings as well. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, there's something here for everyone. Let's discover the wonders and treasures of the earth. Okay, howdy folks. This is the first show in the Crystal Chronicles. We're going to be going over gemstones, the physical, the scientific makeup of the stones, and the metaphysical, the spiritual aspects of stones and working with stones. This is a brand new show that I'll be putting together once a week that will delve into different stones and their meanings and how you can utilize them best in the metaphysical sense, as well as what the stone is physically. I'd like to go over a very as above, so below type of perspective with gemstones. This is how I utilize stones. And a lot of people ask me, and I will delve into it with people if I know of what the makeup is of the stone, because that helps to point for me what it's doing here is what it's doing there. That's the way that I look at it in a reflection sense. So this show is going to go through kind of the ABCs of gemstones. And I do have something to ask you, and that is that you subscribe to the show. We're on our way to our first 100 followers. It really helps the algorithm for us. And to also comment in the show your favorite stone. And if I don't have it on my list of stones to do, I will make a show for you with that stone. So comment your favorite stone and please subscribe to get us to that first 100. That's our initial goal. So we're at the beginning here. This is the Crystal Chronicles, and we're going to be going over the chemical makeup of stones, the physical attributes, how they grow, where they grow, and of course, what shape they grow in is very important. And we're going to also look to see how we can glean from that the metaphysical standards for that stone. And that we'll delve into the color, and we'll delve into the platonic solid in that group, because that also tells us, its shape in a sense in a molecular way, what it's striving to be. Also, its shape as it grows on the outer side, the natural structure of it. Is it banded? Is it growing in spheres? In what way is it coming to this earth? If it's got a meteor, or a tektite or something like that. So there's a lot of different factors, and we'll be going over all these different things through the show, the ABCs of gemstones. And so for me, I love talking about rocks, crystals. I have been doing shows since 1998, when I initially started doing a metaphysical show was my first show, and then of course I did a bunch of craft shows and things like that. Not of course, but that's where I went with it. And then trade shows started into the 2000s. I got my start from my grandfather in North Carolina. I would go down there as a kid. I believe 7 was the first time that I can remember doing it, 7 or 8. We would go down and sift dirt for gems in a sluice. And of course, these bags of dirt that you pour in were seeded with garnets and peridots and things like that. So you were bound to find something. What a find, and what a fun time for kids. I also got to do that into my teenage years. And then outside of high school, that's when I began to do beaded jewelry and began to make jewelry and craft wire work and whatnot. And that I consistently did up until 2020, when I was kind of uprooted from my shows. And now I just do a very few amount of shows. So one of the things that I also want to do with this show is to have guests on, other vendors and dealers in the gem trade, whether you're at a show and you want to promote the show in your town, or you just want to explore at a show on this show, I'm all for it. Make sure to message me ahead of time so we can arrange something and get you on the show as a guest. Some other guests that I'd love to have on the show are collectors that have amazing collections and pictures to share. This is going to be a visual show, so it's going out on YouTube, and Spotify has a video platform as well. If you're just listening, I'm going to try to maintain a pretty descriptive level of discussion so that you're not missing out. But I do implore you to go to the YouTube channel at Crystal Earth Podcast, and or the Spotify channel as well. And you can just look up Crystal Earth and we'll be one of those in there. So yeah, I want to have guests on, whether you're a collector, a miner, you're finding new material, love to share your experience and bring your work and your offerings out on the show and then discuss them, because who doesn't love talking about rocks, right? But one of the things we'll be going over is, of course, how it grows, the color hue that it is, and what metaphysical attributes we can glean from these properties. So that would be something that I'm really interested in. Of course, ancient wisdom. What does the old lore tell us about gemstones? And there's quite a bit. We'll be going into that as well. Now, the first stone we're going to be doing for the next show is agate. And that is a big show because there's a lot of different agates. You got your blue lace agate. You got a lot of different agates. I'm not even going to list, but we will delve into that in the next show. We'll be hitting amber, amethyst, aventurine, apatite, a lot of A's, and that's going to take us a while. It's not a lot of B's, so we'll be hitting a lot of A's to start off with. If you have a stone that you want to hear about, make sure you comment that, because it may not be on my list. I may not be going over it, but I'd be more than happy to do a show on that stone. So make sure you comment your stone in the show notes, and I will look at that for sure and take that in and put it on the list to do a show, and we'll find out about it. If you don't know what the stone is, that's a whole nother subject. Then you can reach out to the Crystal Earth Gallery, and that is crystalearthgallery.com, and you can send a message about the stone and find out about the stone from there. And we are hosted by the crystalearthgallery.com. That is the website for this show, and of course we'll have offerings there as well. But what we're covering in this show isn't just that. Of course, I want to have guests on with their own offerings and their own websites and whatnot. So this is a bit of a trade show episode. The episodes will have a lot of trade show oriented material, but it is also about stones. So we're doing a crystal chronicle. We're going through the different stones and a list, the ABCs, and it'll be a lot of fun. From aventurine to zeolites, we're going to hit them all. So I do hope that you'll join and subscribe if you like talking about rocks and hearing about rocks. I'm not hearing a lot about it on podcasts, but I love to discuss gemstones and crystal lore. I might not like my going on and on and on right now, but when we get into stones, it'll be a little bit more fun. We'll go into the shape, whether it's polished or natural. So if you polish a stone into a pyramid shape or into a sphere, these are going to have specific attributes and the concepts that you're going to be wanting to utilize in your work. And a lot of what we do is from the perspective of self-discovery, self-exploration. How can something enhance our journey on this planet? But this is the Crystal Earth Podcast, and I really hope that you hit subscribe and listen in and learn from this show, as I know I will be learning, putting these shows on and delving into these stones in a deep way. Deep dive into agate is going to be the next show. And again, there's a lot of different kinds, and we're going to go into all of them. So it'll be a lot of fun. So I do hope you'll join me for the next. We have amber coming up, which is a lot of fun, and I have a lot of great pictures of bugs and insects in amber to share. And amethyst, which is going to be a huge show because there's a lot of different things going on with amethyst, and that's something that a lot of people love is amethyst. It's one of my favorites. The red cap amethyst from Thunder Bay is some of my favorite amethyst out there. And I do have some friends that do mine there, so hopefully I can get them on the show to discuss their digs and their finds, maybe with some pictures. So please subscribe, join us on this adventure, these crystal adventure that we're going to be taking as we learn about stones and all their different properties. So until next time, my friends, be well.